final part of the series in the Skarlet and Sub Zero matchup is close distance. First, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I mean exactly by close distance. Close distance is roughly the distance between the two opponents any closer than game start distance. Actions within this space come with a lot of variety, and both Skarlet and Sub Zero's decisions will be weighted and valued differently depending how far away you are, even this close together. Up close, Skarlet's game plan is to start pressure of her own to create more distance to end herself up in ideal distance, or to escape close distance from Sub Zero's own pressure. The end goal either way is the same. Find a way to place herself in ideal distance. For Sub Zero, close distance is the end goal in neutral for all variations. His ideal close distance, however, will vary. What will remain constant is his end goal, putting Skarlet in a continual 50-50 situation and oppressing her options in neutral with either slide or down one. Close distance for Sub Zero. Sub Zero's ideal distance in this matchup is up close. Dead of Winter Variation's ideal distance is up to the maximum range of his back 3 low attack. This allows him to run his forward 2 overhead and back 3 low mix-up, where he is at his strongest. Thin Ice and Avalanche Variation's ideal distance is up to the maximum range of forward 2. This is because they rely on their low slide, which comes up faster than any of Skarlet's pokes, to check her at farther distances than back 3. The threat at longer distances of a fast low attack can lock down any player into crouch blocking in neutral. Being able to call that out with an overhead is a powerful tool indeed. Sub Zero's back 3 strings. A low starting string that is relatively safe on block from all 3 attacks in back 3, 2, 1. This is Sub Zero's favorite string to stagger with, and a faster down 1 than Skarlet, it can be difficult for her to challenge. Avalanche and Thin Ice variations will prefer to stagger with this string more than use the 19 frame overhead mix-up. Challenging Sub Zero's staggers can be risky for Skarlet. Her best option to challenge after blocking Sub Zero's back 3 is a 7 frame down 1 or a 13 frame back 3 low into Blood Tentacle down back 4. If she believes Sub Zero will take his turn back. Back 3, however, will lose to Sub Zero's down 1, and if he blocks her down 1, he's free to stagger once more. Skarlet's safest defensive option is to block a down 1, then either move back or jump back. Doing so after blocking a back 3 will make her susceptible to down 1 and back 2 because of how close back 3 brings Sub Zero to Skarlet. Sub Zero's forward 2 strings. An advancing 19 frame overhead that, mixed with back 3, can be difficult to react to online as well as offline. To be outside of the range of this attack will be the ideal distance for Skarlet, as she can reliably block low the rest of Sub Zero's attacks. Forward 2 is -6 on block, and forward 2 into 4-4 is -19 on block, so Sub Zero prefers to just stagger with forward 2 by itself. If Avalanche Variation Sub Zero cancels forward 2 into Creeping Ice, down forward 4, Skarlet is able to punish with down 1. And if he amplifies it, then he can end up in a really awkward distance where his back 2 whiffs, and Skarlet's back 4 will stuff his forward 2 if he tries to close the distance once again. Avalanche and Thin Ice Variation may go for a low 11 frame slide after forward 2 to catch Skarlet's off guard, but if she blocks it, then it's big damage for her. Dead of Winter Variation will go for overheads as likely as the low back 3 strings. This is because with amplified Ice Ball he can achieve a similar amount of damage to make it worthwhile. This coupled with back 3 staggers can make it extremely difficult for Skarlet to deal with, and it is recommended she escape this distance for this very reason. Because forward 2 takes longer to start up than even back 3, if Skarlet knows Sub Zero won't block after his block string, nor will he use down 1, then her back 3, down 1, and standing 1 strings will beat it. However, the standing 1 will whiff if he ducks. Sub-Zero's back 2 strings. A 14-frame mid due to its advancing movement and long range. Back 2 is a good option for closing in, and it can catch Skarlet if she tries escaping from close distance with proper setup. It's -2 on block up close, but it will be -1 at further distances where he will want to try and get in anyway. Unless Skarlet's execution is frame perfect, you can expect to see a lot of Sub-Zeros trying to take their turn back with the down 1 anyway, so be on the lookout for that. It's also a meterless launcher that can lead to good damage by confirming with an ice ball. Skarlet on throwing. Because Skarlet has crushing blows for failed escape attempts, it's a good idea to try and set up throws. Both successful back and forward throws take you to nearly far ideal distance. A win for Skarlet for sure. Standing 2 is a 13-frame high, a good whiff punishing tool that makes for a good stagger too. It's -0 on block, 16 frames on hit up close, and 17 on hit farther away. This gives Skarlet enough time to go for a throw. Be mindful that it's a high attack and can be ducked or low profiled when staggering. Down 3 is an 11-frame low, a very safe option for going for throws, as it's safe on block from Sub-Zero's relatively stubby down 1 outside of point blank range. It's +14 frames on hit as well for throws afterward. Forward 4 is a 13-frame mid that's safe on block. Because forward 4/4 string has a flawless gap, you can special cancel forward 4 into an amplified blood trail instead to catch Sub-Zero off guard if he was anticipating the second kick. Forward 4 by itself is +12 frames on hit, with amplified blood trail +19 frames on hit up close and +22 farther away. Blood Trail, down back 3, can be strung mid-screen just outside of standing 1 and down 1 distance, with back 3, forward 2, and standing 4. Certain combos in the corner can end with an amplified blood trail as well, if you want to either continue your pressure or throw. Skarlet on block strings. Standing 1 is a 7-frame high attack that leads to a safe on block string with a flawless gap. Unlike many of her flawless gap strings, Sub-Zero is unable to flawless block slide reversal attack, so Skarlet's hard pierce variation can try baiting the block attack with parry, down back 1. Skarlet's other variations can instead try standing 1-2 alone, or standing 1-2 into blood trail to throw Sub-Zero off if he was anticipating flawless blocking the final hit. Standing 4 is a 10-frame high attack that, in standing 4/4, leaves Skarlet +6 on block. This leads to a frame trap for her back 3 attack if Sub-Zero tries attacking out of block stun. Be mindful that at this distance, standing 4 will lose to Sub-Zero's much faster down 1 and standing 1 attacks, and that it can also be ducked. At close distance, this is the best way to set up for back 3 into Blood Tentacle, a block string that only has a flawless gap if Sub-Zero flawless blocks the first hit. Forward 4 is a 13-frame mid that, just like standing 1, contains a block string that cannot be flawless block slide reversal attacked, as forward 4/4 is only -6 on block. This is another good candidate for hard pierce variations parry to use for baiting block attacks. Likewise, other variations can try staggering the forward 4 or blood trail. And those were some important characteristics of the matchup at close distance. Let me know if you think I missed any important aspects or if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to discuss them with you in the comments below. This is Mormel, and this was Learning Close Distance in the Skarlet and Sub-Zero matchup.